Buckle up, history buffs and casual readers alike, because we're about to dive into one of the most pivotal events of the 20th century, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. This event didn't just change the course of history, it practically rewrote the entire script for the 20th century. You know, the one that basically lit the fuse on World War I. The assassination was the spark that ignited a global conflict, pulling in nations from all corners of the world. Now, Ferdinand wasn't just some random royal. He was the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, a big shot in the big game of European politics. His position made him a key figure in the delicate balance of power that existed in Europe at the time. Picture it. 1914, Europe's a powder keg of nationalism, imperialism, and alliances just itching for a spark. The continent was a complex web of political tensions and rivalries. Ferdinand, bless his naive heart, decided to visit Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia. This visit was meant to be a show of strength and unity, but it was anything but. Problem was, Bosnia wasn't exactly thrilled about being part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The region was rife with unrest and dissatisfaction. They wanted to be part of Serbia, their neighbor with dreams of a united Slavic nation. The idea of a greater Serbia was a powerful motivator for many. So, Ferdinand's visit? Not exactly a recipe for a relaxing vacation. It was more like stepping into a boiling pot of political tension, more like walking into a lion's den with a raw steak suit. The atmosphere was charged, and danger was lurking around every corner. Let's set the stage a bit, shall we? Picture Europe in the early 1900s, a continent bustling with activity, yet teetering on the edge of chaos. Europe in the early 1900s was like a high-stakes poker game, with emperors, kings, and politicians all holding hands full of wild cards. The stakes were incredibly high, and everyone was playing to win. Everyone was flexing their military muscles, forming secret alliances, and eyeing each other with suspicion. The atmosphere was thick with tension, and the air was ripe for conflict. You had Germany, feeling powerful and a bit insecure, wanting its place in the sun. They were eager to assert their dominance on the world stage. France, still smarting from a past defeat, was itching for a rematch. The wounds from the Franco-Prussian War were still fresh, and they were determined to regain their honor. Great Britain, trying to play it cool but secretly worried about Germany's growing navy. They were balancing their global empire while keeping a wary eye on the continent. And Russia, the giant bear of the East, backing Serbia in their Slavic nationalist ambitions. They were looking to expand their influence and protect their Slavic brethren. Throw in a tangled web of treaties and agreements, and you've got a recipe for disaster. These alliances meant that any conflict could quickly escalate into a full-blown war. All it took was a single spark to ignite the whole powder keg. The military build-up and stockpiling of weapons only added fuel to the fire. And boy, did that spark come in the form of a bullet. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand set off a chain reaction that would plunge the world into war. June 28, 1914, dawned bright and sunny in Sarajevo. The city was bustling with life, unaware of the dark clouds gathering on the horizon. Archduke Ferdinand and his wife Sophie were touring the city in an open car, completely oblivious to the danger lurking nearby. They were there to inspect the Imperial Armed Forces in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Enter Gavrilo Princip, a young Serbian nationalist with a pistol and a plan. He was determined to change the course of history. Princip was part of a group called the Black Hand, who were dead set on kicking Austria-Hungary out of Bosnia. This secret society was willing to go to any lengths to achieve their goal. They saw Ferdinand as a symbol of oppression, and they were determined to make a statement. To them, his presence was a direct threat to their nationalistic aspirations. As the Archduke's car passed by, Princip seized his chance. The moment was tense, the air thick with anticipation. 2 shots rang out, echoing through the streets of Sarajevo. The sound was deafening, a harbinger of the chaos to come. Ferdinand and Sophie were fatally wounded, their blood staining the car's plush upholstery. The scene was one of utter devastation. In that instant, the world held its breath. The crowd was stunned, unable to comprehend the magnitude of what had just occurred. No one knew it yet, but history had just taken a sharp, irreversible turn. The assassination would soon set off a chain of events leading to the First World War. Section 4. The domino effect, from assassination to global war. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand sent shockwaves across Europe. Austria-Hungary, outraged and grieving, blamed Serbia for the attack and issued a harsh ultimatum. Serbia, backed by Russia, tried to negotiate, but Austria-Hungary wasn't having it. Remember that tangled web of alliances we talked about? Yeah, it gets real messy, real fast. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, and like dominoes falling, the other powers were drawn in. Russia mobilized to support Serbia, Germany declared war on Russia and then on France, Britain joined the fray to defend its allies, and boom! Just like that, Europe was engulfed in the flames of World War I. Section 5. Legacies of a Bullet, World War I and Beyond. World War I was a catastrophe of unprecedented scale. Millions of soldiers and civilians perished in the trenches and battlefields across Europe. Empires crumbled, boundaries were redrawn, and the world was forever changed. The assassination of Archduke Ferdinand might have been the spark, but the war's roots ran much deeper. It exposed the flaws in the European system, the dangers of unchecked nationalism, and the devastating consequences of militarism. The war also paved the way for future conflicts, including World War II. The Treaty of Versailles, which ended the war, imposed harsh penalties on Germany, breeding resentment and instability that would fester in the years to come. Section 6. The Archduke's Assassination, a Century of Reflection. More than a century has passed since Gavrilo Princip fired those fateful shots, and the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand continues to fascinate and horrify us. It serves as a stark reminder of how a single event can have far-reaching consequences, shaping the course of history in ways no one could have predicted. The assassination also raises important questions about responsibility, nationalism, and the use of violence in political conflicts. It's a story that continues to resonate today, as we grapple with similar challenges in our own time. Section 7. The Unintended Consequences of June 28, 1914. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was a tragedy not only for the Archduke and his wife, but for the entire world. It set in motion a chain of events that led to unimaginable suffering and forever altered the course of human history. As we look back on this pivotal moment, it's essential to remember the lessons learned from the past. The world is an interconnected place, and even seemingly isolated events can have global repercussions. By understanding the causes and consequences of past conflicts, we can strive to create a more peaceful and just future.